Elsie. And I'm Debbie. And we're Two Sisters Southern Cooking. Hey y'all, so this is one of the most requested recipes that we've had. It's plain and simple, we're going to make tomato paste. Now I have about 10 pounds here of our San Marzano Romas. I also have a type of Roma that is a yellow tomato. It's a hybrid, so it's mixed in here. So this one here, this is a yellow tomato. So if you see it and you're like, oh, that's not ripe enough, it is. Trust me, it's soft, it's very nice. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to actually cut all of these in half and then quarter them. Then we're gonna put them in the blender and blend them up to puree, and then after that, we're gonna bring it back in here and we're gonna put it through the sieve. We're going to get all of all the juice out of it and everything, and then we're going to put it on the stovetop and let it simmer for 2 to 3 hours until it becomes tomato paste. Then after that, we're going to make some ketchup. Now the ketchup part takes like 30-40 minutes, so it's the simple part. But the hardest part is on the stovetop, where you have to leave it on there to simmer until it evaporates all of the juices out of it and it becomes tomato paste. We don't put any salt, no pepper, no seasoning in it. It's strictly just the tomato and the juices from the tomato. Put it on the stovetop and just let it have its way. So let's get started. We have grown every last one of these. Elsie pulled 15 pounds of tomatoes last week. This is part of that 15 pounds. And then we ended up pulling about another 15 today. So what we've gotten off our vine that we know of is about what? About 40 to 50 pounds of tomatoes, Elsie?
Yeah.
Yeah, and those are all the San Marzano and the smaller tomatoes. The other tomatoes really haven't given us much yet. They're still growing, like the big boy tomatoes. We have been getting some black prints off, and Elsie is in love with the black prints. It is such a tasty tomato. So we have pulled those. See, this is a yellow. This is a yellow tomato here. It's pretty cool looking because you don't think it's ready, but it is. It's ready to go. So I washed these off. I put them all together and washed them, and we're going to go ahead and just get them ready to puree up. I think I'm going to go ahead and finish this off screen because I don't want to bore you to death. And then we're going to come back when we're ready to puree. So stay tuned. So we are back, and this is our second step of making tomato paste. Now this took me probably 20 minutes to cut all these tomatoes up. We have a variety of tomatoes in here. We have some Romas, we have some San Marzanos, and we have some yellow Romas. So they're kind of like all mixed in there. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. I have them because when you are using like the regular big boy tomatoes or the regular heirloom tomatoes, they want you to cut them in quarters. But because these are small, because they're San Marzano Romas,
they are small.
Yeah, so there's no reason to cut them in fourths. But if you're using the regular big tomatoes, you need to. So we'll go ahead and get started with this.
Okay. So we're gonna just put a bunch of them in. We're gonna have multiple batches because
yes,
this is not.
Yeah, this is not going to be a one batch and done. It's definitely not. We're gonna have multiple, and they smell so good. I wish I could eat tomatoes because they smell. It's so
fresh,
yummy, and fresh, and we know where it came from. We know what we put on our plants, so that's the nice part about growing your own garden. So Elsie is going to go ahead and continue that. I want to really quick go ahead and do our sieve and show you how we're going to do that. I need to get a spoon to push down so we can get all of our juices through. Only thing you're keeping inside of your sieve is going to be your seeds and your skin.
And we need another bowl to put the waste in.
Okay. And this is how you do it. You just gradually get it and push it down until all you're left with is skin and seeds. And Elsie's going to continue to do that, and I'm going to continue to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how I sieve. So this is the last bit of the tomato puree that we have. So this is about 2 ounces, I think. So we're going to go ahead and put this into our sieve. What I do is I normally shake it and kind of bounce it a little bit to get the excess liquid to go down before I start scraping with my spoon. And then I just start doing this, and it just starts pushing it through the bottom. And what this does is just keeps the tomato seeds and the pulp or the skin inside of the sieve, so you don't have that excess in your tomato paste. So the hardest part of this whole thing is, one, cooking it for 3 hours, because it's going to smell so good that we're going to want to get into it. And number 2 is actually putting it through the sieve. And the pureeing part was easy breezy for Elsie, because she just had to puree it in her little food processor. And you can do it in a blender if you have a blender or a food processor. But you see how it's starting to get a little more thicker here. And you'll see the difference, because it'll turn, actually your seed and your pulp will actually start turning more red. It will lose that pink color from the juice being removed. So you see here how this is. I think we're actually ready to go ahead and scoop this up. Now see how this looks here? I'm gonna scoop that over there. And then you just can see that right there. Now that is ready to go in to our pot, and we're going to go ahead and start making our tomato paste. So before I get to the stove and I make a big god-awful mess on top of the stove, I'm going to go ahead and put our pureed tomatoes that have been put through the sieve into our pot here, and we're ready to go to the stovetop. Hey y'all, so we are back, and I'm going to go ahead and get ready to get our tomatoes started here. I've got it on medium heat. We don't want to stir this a lot because we want it to be able to thicken, because it's going to actually have to dehydrate so we can actually get a paste out of this. This actually is going to end up being about 2 pounds of paste. So Elsie and I were just talking about canning this. So with the standard canning instructions, we're probably going to put these up because it'll be good for a year. If you put this in the refrigerator and you put it in a mason jar, you have to put like a little bit of olive oil on the top. It's only good for a week, but that is a lot of tomato paste for a week and you don't want it to go to waste. So there's going to be a lot of people receiving some tomato paste from us. So we're going to go ahead and get started on this, and we'll show you throughout the process, and we'll do check-ins. So I'm just doing a quick check-in. So this is about 30 minutes into it. Like I said, you don't want to stir this too much, but I have to break this down just a little bit here because it's going to boil over. That's why I put the wooden spoon over top of it, just so it'll keep it hopefully from boiling over. So just gonna, but you can definitely see a change in the texture. It's still watery, but it's definitely starting to tighten up a little bit into like a more solid form rather than liquid. All right, so we'll do another check-in shortly. I want to check in here on our tomato paste, and it is, look at that, it's thickening up. So pretty and nice, guys. We have about an hour and a half left on this, and then we'll be able to can these up. It looks fabulous, guys. All right, so our next check-in will be our final check-in, and then we will show you what it looks like when it is completely dehydrated. I leave a wooden spoon on top just so it doesn't boil over, and it always works. And we will see you at our last check-in, and then we'll get ready to can these up. We're going to make some ketchup with 6 ounces of this. We have a lot more than 6 ounces. We are done with our tomato paste, and this is just strictly San Marzano and Roma tomatoes, and we're going to take it, get our 6 ounces out, and then we're going to get ready to can up the rest of it. So follow us to the prep station.
Y'all, I am fixing to jar up our tomato paste. Alright, let's see. Too much. Let me get a little spoon.
You want one from here?
If there's one. Yeah. That'll work.
Okay. And Elsie said just to wipe around the lip of it on the inside and the outside. Now we're going to put this in a water bath, and we are going to can this so it can be shelf stable for 1 year. It's not going to last us that long though, I can tell you that.
No, since it's only 2 or 3 of these. I'd say 2. A little bit more. You don't have enough for 3.
Now, if you get to the point to where, like we will, if you get to the point to where you need to, and you don't have enough to can, you can put the rest of it in this jar.
And put it in the refrigerator.
Put a little olive oil on the top just to seal it, and it's good for 1 week in the fridge. Just to let you know. So we might be able to do that, just enough to.
I'm Elsie.
And I'm Debbie.
And
we're Two Sisters Southern Cooking. Please like, share, and subscribe.
Thank you.